Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to the Poultry Production in Ontario information video. Today we'll be looking at the Arkell Research Station. The Arkell Research Station is home to a few different species. We have poultry, we have swine, we have equine, and we also have a feed mill on site. The tour today is going to be focusing on poultry, and we're going to start our tour at the service building, which has the hatchery. The machine that we're looking at right now, this is what we call a setter. A setter is where the eggs will be for the first 18 days of the incubation process out of 21 days, which it does take to hatch a chick. While in the setter, temperatures will be really warm. They'll be around 37 degrees Celsius and 55% relative humidity. And also during that period, the eggs will actually not fully rotate, but tilt every hour just to make sure that we get optimum hatchability. Now we're looking at the hatcher. The hatcher is the second part of the incubation process. We have baskets that we transfer the eggs to, and this is where the chicks will actually hatch. What we're looking at right now are some broilers. Broilers typically take about 6 weeks to get to market, and a broiler is a meat bird. We grow both male and female, and very simple. Just make sure that they get lots of feed and water and the temperature and lighting's appropriate, and they'll grow. We also house here broiler breeders, which are the parent stock of broilers. And the one thing with the parent stock is we have to make sure that they have a restricted diet to make sure that we can maintain the optimal health and weight so that we have the optimum amount and the best offspring. Poultry production is heavily automated. We have a lot of controls and computer systems in place to make sure that the temperature and ventilation is adequate, as well as we do a lot of record keeping to make sure everything's on track. Feed storage on the farm is mostly in feed tanks, which would be typical to a commercial farm for large volumes of bulk feed, although we also do handle a lot of bags as well, and that's typically more for research requirements. And the feed that we have will have different types of feed depending on whether it's a layer or a pullet or a broiler or a turkey, and also dependent on the age of the animal. What we're looking at right now is a pullet rearing system. Pullets, or what we refer to as young chickens before maturity, and prior to lay, it takes about 18 weeks for the development of the pullet to go from chick to a layer, and this is the type of system they would be in. There's a few different variations of this type of system, but the key things through the development period is that we're not dealing with eggs at all, so we just want to make sure that we give a nice sterile environment to the chicks, that we have water and feed available, and lighting is really important. During the development stage, the birds have a shorter day length period, and we definitely want to make sure that they have the optimum surrounding for growth and bone development. So this here is what we would call kind of a combi system. Also, there are regular conventional type of systems as well as aviary systems to rear birds. So once the pullet reaches maturity, which would be at about 18 weeks, we would then call it a laying hen. And that is basically the point where the bird will start to lay eggs. And typically we can expect an egg a day for a year. A year would typically be the amount of time that we would keep the laying hens around and harvest eggs from them. And when we do house the laying hens, we have a few different systems, and the systems are specifically designed to handle the eggs, but also to automatically feed the birds and take care of the manure and have waters available as well for drinking. And the first system we're going to look at is the conventional or battery cage type system. It is a system that is being phased out, but there still are a lot that are used in production right now. And one of the reasons that this cage is so popular is because it really is easy to manage the bird's health and manage eggs as well for food safety. There are a couple newer systems that we're transitioning into, and the one we're going to look at now is the enriched system. The enriched system, similar to the battery or conventional cage, it does have a wire floor, so it's very sterile and clean, automatic feeding. So it's easy to manage, and also the eggs will roll down to an egg belt. But one of the big differences is that we have some perching, larger space so that the birds have more opportunity to move around, as well as a scratch area and a nest area, so that the birds can find a safe place to lay their eggs. And the third type of system that is in industry is considered a free run system is the aviary. And the aviary is more of an open system, gives the birds the opportunity to move around, go down to a scratch area, and just is more spacious. All three systems basically house the same type of birds, just different to manage overall. Aside from chickens, we also house turkeys at the research station. Turkeys, unlike chickens, are much more intense to start off and rear. Although once they get through the rearing process or period, they are a very hardy bird, and adult tom can grow up to 50 pounds. Turkeys are also a big part of our research program. Thank you for watching our video on Ontario poultry production.